African friends and family. How are you doing, beloved? Welcome, 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 wherever you are and whatever you are doing in the world. This is your sister, your mom. Some call me Mama Ade. Others in Nigeria call me Iya Ade, which means mother. Officially, I am Dr. Ade Tokunbo Aborishade. Welcome to my channel. I'm glad to have you here. Glad to be with you. I'm happy to serve. It gives me joy to be able to bring uplifting, intellectual knowledge, period. Knowledge that God has blessed me with. You know, in our culture, in African culture, education is not for the individual. If you're blessed with an education, you are required to share that education with the people. Now, unfortunately, many people don't like what I have to say. Well, I'm sorry. Some of our people are stuck in slavery. Some of our people have made slavery their comfort zone. I'm sorry. So if knowledge and truth move you from your comfort zone, then you have to go someplace else. You have to go to another channel, another platform. My messages are not for everyone. They are especially for the people who are stuck. Too many of our people are stuck. I would like for them to listen to the messages so that they can get unstuck. But you see, that's a matter of individual choice. But it is more critical to get unstuck today in these dangerous times, these uncertain times. It's more important than ever. Really, this podcast, my messages, all of my teaching is dedicated to the enlightened and anointed Black African women and men all over the world. It's my job to throw the seeds of knowledge and let those seeds germinate wherever they will germinate. You might be surprised because the podcast is about Black women talking Black. But men are my sons. We don't want to leave you behind. But sometimes that's your choice also. So I speak directly to Black African men as well as women. Because as Black men, you are part of us. We give birth to you. And frankly, men, Black African men, if you think you can fight a war against women, you must be insane. Where would you be? You wouldn't even be alive if it were not for women who carried you for 9 months, nurtured you, breastfed you. You wouldn't be here were it not for women. But I'm going to leave it there because you men, you really have to deal with your own issues. But I am alerting both. This is going to be a very long message. I didn't intend it that way. It's long. I will finally say that men have no place in communications between Black African mothers. And my message for this evening. I'm saying evening because it's evening where I am right now. But men, please, work on your issues. As women, we have to work on our issues. And that's just it. Black African women are the one and only earthly representatives of the divine she. That's what I'm talking about at this time. In the beginning was she. Oh yes. If there is a she also has a male aspect. But if it is she, that's the major aspect of that entity. That's my starting point this evening. As Black women, we can unapologetically make the claim that Black African women are the one and only earth representatives of the divine creator she. We are the only females on earth who genetically, biologically, physically, and spiritually have been given the gift of the divine essence and the divine reproductive power of Mother Universe. Yes, I said Mother Universe. Black African women are the only human females who are directly connected to the umbilical cord of the divine she. This means that Black African women are earthly replicas of the infinite living Mother Universe. So if you are a man and you are out there looking for something else, then you are looking for something that is way, way, way below the level of a Black African woman. And if you don't have a Black African woman at your side, I'm sorry, you are missing out on a tremendous blessing. The great she, the great mother, universe, she is the mighty one whom we adore and we thank for all existence throughout all the galaxies. Thus, the umbilical cords of all the galactic bodies in the cosmos are also connected to Mother Universe. The progenitor of all life in the cosmos is Divine She. Divine She, from whose vast womb the all and all was given birth. This narrative that I'm giving at this time, this narrative is drawn from the traditional African worldview. So I'm presenting a different perspective that gets you out of that funky, old, evil, blood-soaked Caucasian box. You've got to come out of it. This worldview makes common sense, scientifically and biologically, and I'm breaking it down to you. I'm not just blowing smoke. I am speaking from the cosmic level down, from the spiritual level inside out, and connecting all of it with science. So this video, as long as it is only part one of a 3-part series. When I think about the motivation for the series, wow. The motivation for the series is to provide a desperately needed African spiritual and cultural reset. Even as I say this, there are some of you out there who are so misguided that you say, "Oh, well, I'm not African, I'm Black." Okay. I cannot force you out of that funky old box. You have to step out of that box and that slave trap by yourself. It has to be your choice. But what I am saying is, in the spirit of Sankofa, now is the time to return to African spirituality. Now is the time to retrieve the priceless knowledge that we left behind. That's the knowledge that's going to set us free. My beloved, at this juncture of our history all over the world, we have chosen ones returned ancestors, chosen ones who stand at the ready to assist and to guide the critical mass of our people. Because our folks are waking up. I can't tell you how happy I am to be alive at this particular time in our history. To be alive and to have the knowledge that our people need as they turn this historical corner to open the escape hatch of this 2,000-year enslavement box that we are in. To be one of those sending forth the knowledge, speaking the knowledge that our people need as they wake up. Now, those who never listened to me before, many are listening now. And I'm going to say this to you. You'd better catch me when you can. You'd better take my messages seriously. I'm not going to be around always. That's why I have made these videos on YouTube. The people in my generation are the most stuck. So I am leaving the wisdom and the knowledge for posterity, for the generations coming behind me, because they will be hungry for this knowledge and they will be looking for it, and it will be there. It'll be there right on the table waiting for them. Come, my children, eat and drink of this knowledge. Some people today are beginning to realize as they wake up that absolutely no forward movement is possible as long as we remain enslaved under the alien spells of our enemies. Yes, I said spells. The enemy enslaved us, colonized us, went in, found our writings, used them for evil purposes. So this is how they brought us under subjection, using the power of our own spiritual knowledge to enslave us. And the reason it has lasted for so long is because we go along with it. We give them permission to continue enslaving us. These spells have removed us from ourselves. They use shame, threats, intimidation, terrorism. They use all these things to keep us in this enslaved state. These strategies keep our energies focused on them instead of ourselves. Whenever they see us concentrating on ourselves and each other, they do something outrageous publicly. There's going to be a public killing right out in the open to arrest our attention and put it back on them. These people are spirit vampires. They thrive on the energies, the spiritual energies of African people, sucking us dry with our permission, because most of us don't have sense enough to get away from them. And I'm sorry to have to say this. I don't mean to hurt anyone's feelings, but the truth is the light. And I am always going to shine that light. What am I getting ready to say? I'm getting ready to say that if you are married to one of them, I feel sorry for you, because you are being sucked dry, especially at night when you lie in bed and go to sleep. All of these things have caused us to forget who we are. We have forgotten who we are. We have forgotten the divine purpose for which divine she gave us life on earth. So what I am trying to do is to open your ancestral memory. That's what I am asking you to do. Open your ancestral memory, your race memory. Go back to the time 200,000 years ago. That is the time when we Black Africans were birthed into nobility. In fact, go back another 1,000 years to 300,000 years BCE. Why 300,000 years ago? It's because at that time, we spiritually and biologically and chemically and genetically developed into the species we are today, that the scientists classify as Homo sapien sapien. Not just Homo sapien. The classification Homo sapien, that classification is for the subhumans that became extinct because they were subhuman. And Mother Universe got rid of them. We Black African people are the only real human beings on earth. Oh, I know. Someone out there is saying, how can she say that? Everybody is this, that, and the other, and we are all equal. No, we are not. Do we act as equals? Have you ever in your life, in human history, heard of African people who are just violent to the core, who just love to kill, who are thrilled by bloodshed, who brag about killing billions of people over the time period of their entire existence. This is all they have done. And you think we are equals as human beings? How can someone, anyone, claim to be a human being when for their entire existence, and for them it's like maybe 10,000 years, for their entire existence they have acted like ravenous wolves, looking to devour whomever they can. I'm saying again, it is time for Black African people. You've got to open your ancestral memory. Go back even to 300,000 BCE. Back to the time when we walked the earth for hundreds of thousands of years, and there were no other human beings except us. I want you to recall the time from the beginning when we were blessed with sacred knowledge from the heavenly realms. I want you to remember the time when we were blessed with sacred knowledge, yes, but also birthed into nobility. And because of those two things, for hundreds of thousands of years, we, Black African people, blessed the entire earth and all within it. Divine Mother Spirit, she is the one many of you have been referring to as a male Holy Spirit. You are all up in the churches calling the divine she, he. Everything in your, what they call the Godhead, is male. A male Father God, a male Son. And then they have taken the female aspect of God, which is the largest and the most powerful and the most creative, and turn her into a man. I need to ask you, and I don't mean to be insulting, but I want to open your minds to, so that you can get in contact with your common sense. What creative thing can three men do for humanity? Does that sound natural? Have we forgotten the law of the universe? The law of duality? Have we forgotten, or were we ever even taught, that for every female She is part male. Well, common sense tells us that. And for every male, he is part female. We have not been properly taught that everything in the universe has gender. I'll get into it later. Wow. Common sense. So the divine she is called he. But at the same time, you're singing these songs about Shekinah or Shekinah glory. But you never bother to look up the name Shekinah or Shekinah, whichever way you want to pronounce it. If you look up the name, it's a Hebrew name. It's a Hebrew feminine name. It's not a male name. But apparently they hate females and anything that is feminine. They hate it so much. These people from the far northern regions, they really dislike anything female. And they don't want anyone to think that women have power, when the truth is that women have ultimate power, 3 times more than men. But since we don't study, we just stay in that little ignorant box. Let me go on. I think I've missed my place. I'm talking about how we have forgotten who we are and the purpose for which we were born, for which we were given life. But beloved, it's now time, right now, to open that ancestral memory. I'd like for you to ask yourself, if they are lying about this with Shekinah or Shekinah, what else are they lying about that you take as the so-called gospel truth? Use your common sense and ask if in the beginning a man was created first and he gave birth to a woman from his body. Does that make common sense to you? So address this common sense question as to whether such a thing can be a reality. Is it scientific? These are rhetorical questions. We know the answers. But in order to use our common sense, we would rather stay in that slavery box. Black African people are the only human beings on earth They've lied about that as well. They have told us that we are born into sin, not our own sin, the sin of two people, some man and some woman who sinned, that have no connection with us. They are not our ancestors. And the ones they are talking about could only have existed 6,000 years ago, because that's as far back as they can trace themselves. I want you to compare 6,000 with 300,000. But we go along, like ignoramuses, because if one of them says it's true, it's got to be true. So we believe their lies. But in our hearts, we really know that they are lying. But we go along with it. We know that these people from the far northern regions of the world, they are grand masters of lies and deception. And the Black African collaborators, they also know that these people are master liars. They know that these people are demonic, committed liars. And they hang with them anyway for selfish reasons. They don't care what happens to their people. Let me get mine. Everybody else will have to get theirs. Okay. Okay. But the world has changed now. It has changed. And it has not changed for the better. What am I talking about? I am talking about the fact that God's judgment is here. Everyone can see it. Stevie Wonder can see it. But black folks are so busy being distracted with foolishness. You're not paying attention. If you watch the behavior of them folks, them other folks, don't you see that they are in a desperate panic? And even in these desperate times, we have the collaborators who are just hanging in there with them, just helping to lull our people to sleep, helping to tell their lies, helping to make our people believe that they have no other choice but to go along to get along. But the world has changed. It's judgment time. There's an African proverb that states this: the stubborn fly that follows the corpse to the grave will be buried with a corpse. Did you hear me? The stubborn fly that follows the rotting corpse to the grave will be buried with the corpse. The stubborn fly. The stubborn fly. The collaborators that follow the stinking, bloody, murderous corpse of them people to the grave. You're going to be buried with their corpse. The time has arrived for Black African women and men worldwide to destroy all false narratives about us done by these outside folks, them folks. The alternative narratives in this video that I am doing, these narratives are grounded in our traditional African culture, our traditional African spirituality, and our traditional African cosmology. Some aspects of this creative narrative may not be 100% perfect, but that's all right. The narrative needs to jar you out of that slavery box, to open up your mind, to refresh your mind, and to open your ancestral memory as to who you are and what you should be doing. And I'm using you in both the individual and the group sense, the individual and the plural sense. Open your mind. My beloved, I hope that this narrative that I'm going to weave this day, I hope it can help my Black African women and men to return back to the racial, the psychological, the gender, and social normalcy. You know that there is nothing normal about this culture. There is nothing normal about it. You know that there is nothing even sane about this culture. You've got to come out of it. All I can do is say that. All I can do is suggest. You are the one who has to get up and pull yourself out. Black African women are the primary target of this video. However, this 3-part video series is a reminder that African women and men are created as complementary opposites. We are 2 parts of a whole. So each one of us needs the other. Each one balances the other. Each one of us has either more or less capacity in certain abilities coming out of our femininity and our masculinity. Each of us has either more or less in certain levels of spirituality and areas of strength. And we African people have had serious problems ever since we were moved from African matriarchy as a social system and assimilated into Caucasian patriarchy. Some of us call this white supremacist system as a matrix. That's wrong. It is a patrix. A patrix refers to masculinity, pater in Latin. Matriarchy refers to femininity. So when we look at this Western system, this patrix, this patriarchal system of white supremacy and violence and murder and lying and stealing and hatred, it's not a matrix. There is nothing motherly about it. There is nothing nurturing about it. In fact, everything in the Western system, the Western culture, is dead. If it isn't already dead, they are planning to kill it. You know I'm not lying. Right now, they are making it public that they are planning to kill 80 million human beings off the face of the earth. For what? We've got to come to our senses. And I don't understand why some of us love them so much, depend on them so much. It doesn't make sense when you know they are killing us. When you know from everyday experience that we Black African people have no friends in this world. Even though we gave birth to all of their sorry asses. This is the thanks that we get? Well, if you are not remembering, let me tell you who is remembering. Divine Mother is remembering. Mother Universe is remembering. She remembers. She remembers why she gave birth to us on this earth. And how we were given sacred knowledge. And how we took that knowledge, populated the entire earth, taught everyone, gave the world civilization, tried to uplift all these other people who don't look like us because they were mating with the subhumans. Look at them. When you look in their faces, you're looking in the face of a Neanderthal. When you look at them, you are looking at the face of a Denisovan. And even some others who became extinct because they were not fully human. And now, as a proving point to what I just said, all of them, all the non-humans have made it publicly in all these nations. They are going extinct. Well, if they're so damn superior, why are they going extinct? Why? If they are so superior, why is it that everything on earth, down to the rocks and the sand, everything on earth is blessed by the sun, except them? They are dying out. Right now, we are in the midst of a heat wave, and they are dropping like flies. So they have these negative population polls. They are dropping, they are dying, and they want to kill us before they are finally off this planet. This Western culture is 180 degrees away from ours. Those of you on the continent, you know that the African matriarchy is still intact. And I have listened to some of you on YouTube, on your videos, your platforms, and you are openly talking about it. You remember, even though you have assimilated or at least adopted these foreign religions, that knowledge, that sacred knowledge, has never changed. And for those of you who have never been to Africa, once you travel to Africa and live there for a little while, you see the African matrix operating. But in the Western world, everything has to be male. Okay. So their culture is 180 degrees away from ours. But it is African culture that represents the laws of the universe. It's African culture that is in accordance with the laws of nature. This other stuff is insane. And as time develops, we see the real insanity of these people. Isn't it in the news right now that a teacher was fired because one of her students decided, and you know he wasn't black, but this poor little creature decided that his alter ego is a cat. And on this particular day, recently, just a few days ago, he probably hadn't studied his lesson, and the teacher asked him a question. Whatever the situation is or was, he decided to meow because he thinks he's a cat. The teacher was fired. She was fired from her teaching job because she did not get into a meowing session with this little fool. She was fired. It went viral. So they decided not to really fire her. Maybe she's suspended, because you know how stupid they look. These people are insane. This is why so many of us are going crazy. Hang with him. See what happens to your mind. In that case, it would only take 2 or 3 days in that school when no learning would be taking place. Everyone would either be barking or meowing or twerping like birds, chirping. This is where we are. But you love it. I know you love it because you don't leave it. I know you love them because you want to be around them. You are so proud to say that you have a white friend, which is an oxymoron. Those two words just don't go together. If you don't like me for saying the truth, so be it. It's going to be up to us Black African women and men to heal this situation. Beloved, we've got to heal this enemy-orchestrated, broken relationship between us. But healing can never happen as long as we remain within the wicked system that intentionally broke us apart. And speaking of insanity, we've been doing the same thing for a good 200 years and getting the same results. But we keep doing the same thing, expecting different results. That's insanity. It means you're not dealing with reality. We cannot expect the enslaver to liberate us. We have to liberate ourselves. So at this time, I'm going to present a little narrative that gives a different perspective on reality as African people know it, and as we have known it for 300,000 years. This narrative is going to sound like a creation narrative. It isn't that I believe that I'm so great that I can write a creation story. That's not what it is about. What I'm doing is looking into our distant past. What I'm doing is listening to the ancestors. What I am doing is bringing the ancient African sacred knowledge. It is sacred because it is based on the universal laws of nature, of reality, so that maybe you can get a brief glimpse of what is normal and what is real, and come out of this self-destructive nonsense that we're locked up in. So this narrative presents the universe as a Black, feminine, conscious energy has an important creative mission. And she decides to do something creative with an unpopulated planet, which she names Earth. And universe first imposes upon the Earth an operational governing system that is embedded with unchanging laws and moral principles. That's her first step. Her next step is to seed, S-E-E-D, to seed this barren planet Earth with billions and billions and billions of simple, one-celled life forms. And these life forms, she took them and programmed them to evolve into complex entities over extremely long periods of time. Now, universe was particularly interested in the development of humans on Earth. Although she created billions upon billions of these various other life forms that were also evolving. And eventually they would be a support system to those who would become Homo sapien sapiens. She knew what she was doing. She had a plan, and she began to execute it. Now, the purpose of this governing system was to guide and to support human development to the level of earthly deities. Let me say that again. The purpose of the governing system was to guide and support human development to the level of earthly deities, earthly gods with a small g. And these earthly gods, these earthly deities, would be reflections of the divine deities that are in the heavenly realms. Let me get into the narrative proper. In the beginning, there was a feminine, black, creative consciousness named Universe. Now, the first syllable of her name is Uni. Uni, U-N-I. The first syllable of her name is Uni because she is the divine one. Uni means one. She was the divine one, who was ultimately feminine, mostly feminine, but also with masculine aspects. Since her name was Uni, it means that she constituted the interconnectedness of all things in existence. The second syllable of her name is verse. V-E-R-S-E. Verse. Why was her name, the second syllable of her name, verse? Well, it's because she had a very rhythmic, tonal way of speaking. And that rhythmic, tonal way of speaking was so powerful. Her voice was so magical that she could create things just by speaking them into existence. So every verbal modulation that she expresses and every tonal inflection that she utters sends forth ripples upon ripples of creative potentialities that become new forms of life. In this manner, universe uses her powers of thought, her powers of will, her powers of breath, and her powers of vocal vibrations to transform the invisible and the intangible spiritual elements. She can transform them into visible, tangible, physical entities. Those are her powers of manifestation, which are tremendous. However, universe's greatest and most powerful gifts, or I should say gift, her most powerful gift is her divine spiritual capacity to create life and to create living entities. Now, universe is composed of powerful creative energies. She also contains ultimate knowledge of all possible scientific principles and applications. She is the ultimate scientist. On this particular time, on this one occasion that occurred within the scope of eternal time, when universe concentrated her ultimately scientific and creative mind upon a special mission, she did something that was tremendous. She is so powerful that for an eternity, Mother Universe has been recognized throughout the galaxies as the originator and the guardian of the uniform system of absolute and unchanging science-based moral laws and principles. I'm going to repeat that. As the originator, throughout all the galaxies, she is recognized and adored throughout all the galaxies for being the originator and the guardian of the uniform system of absolute and unchanging science-based moral laws and principles. Let me tell you something about the essence of Mother Universe. The essence of universe is that of a creative feminine energy in a perpetual condition of pregnancy and reproduction. Again, the essence of universe is that of a creative feminine energy in a perpetual condition of what? Of pregnancy and of reproduction. Her galactic womb, W-O-M-B, her galactic womb contains salty atmospheric waters that support the gestation of all new life. This is the same as what happens in the womb of a woman. The womb is filled with a salty all of a sudden my mouth won't work. A salty fluid. It is called an embryonic fluid. So the body of a human being, especially a Black African human being, it represents that of Mother Universe. So as such, universe is considered to be a divine mother who continually gives birth to new stars, new planets, even new galaxies. Those are her babies. And the stars, the planets, and the galaxies are connected to her by the umbilical cords that are in her womb. The same as the fetus inside a female human being is connected to her by the umbilical cord. Mother Universe's one of her greatest, most powerful gifts is her divine spiritual power to create life and to create living entities. That's her most powerful gift. That power, that ability, that capacity to reproduce life, that is the power of the female human being. And the fetus begins with what? As what? A one-celled being that begins to develop and grow into a fetus. It's the same story, repeated over and over again inside the wombs of Black African women as they carry that baby and bring it to term. And that is how Black African women are directly connected to Mother Universe, because she created Black African women to be like her, and therefore they are within the natural order of the universe. As above, so below. And as within, so without. We'll get into that later. This is why Mother Universe is the ultimate mother. She pours out her unlimited love, her unlimited compassion to each and every entity to which she gives birth. And her love and compassion, they are extended to all, from the most spiritually evolved human being down to the lowliest grain of sand. Mother Universe is the embodiment of the highest moral and ethical standards throughout all the galaxies. Therefore, it is she alone who has the task of creating galactic operational governing systems within which all life forms must comply. And if they don't comply, she makes them go extinct. Let me pause for just a moment. She makes them go extinct. Who is it on earth? Who are these people on earth who have never complied with either the universal laws, the universal principles, or even the natural laws? We know who they are. They are the people from the north, the northern regions of the earth, who instead of evolving, devolved. to some level of bestiality and barbarism. And they are all going extinct. Their own scientists have reported on mainstream media, all over the internet, they are going extinct. And this is what is behind all this abortion foolishness. They intend to force these little pale-skinned women, you know who I'm talking about, to force them to have babies. Even if that child was the product of incest, even if that child was the product of rape, they are forcing their women to give birth to that child. Now, on the other hand, they are going throughout black communities, black people, sterilizing us, sending missionaries in the form of doctors and whatever, sterilizing African people. They did it in Kenya. 50,000 African women in Kenya were sterilized with injections without knowing it. Wow. And Kenya is not the only, that's not the only country. So they are killing us. But they are trying to increase their numbers. But they're going extinct. Nothing can stop it. So, by 2050, there will only be a handful of them. The universe is getting rid of them. Now, I know some of you love them so much that you will give up your own life to try and save them, but you can't. If you act like the stubborn fly that follows these corpses to the grave, you're going to be buried with them, one way or another. Because Mother Universe has her eye on you as well. Think about that. Now, Mother Universe imposed this governing system upon every planet throughout every galaxy. At the same time, Universe embedded all aspects of her essence and her substance into the DNA of African human beings, giving us these subatomic levels of spiritual potential. Let me say that again. Mother Universe embedded all aspects of her essence and her substance into the DNA of Black African human beings. And it reaches all the way down to the subatomic level of our physical beings. That is very powerful. Some human beings, and I'm only speaking of Black Africans because we are the only real human beings. So African human beings, some of us are more consciously aware of that spiritual potential than others. Likewise, some are more committed to conforming to the divine governance system than others. Because in life we have an individual choice. The most important thing to remember is that Mother Universe embedded her love, her spiritual powers, her gifts, and her capacities into each and every Black African human being. You see, she created us. We were created by God. But we, Black Africans, made them. You know, them other folks. So as a result, each human being can choose to develop some level of earthly godhood. And again, I'm speaking to Black Africans. We are the ones who are gifted with spirit. Them folks, you know, them other folks don't even have access to divine spirit. How can I say that? It's a scientific fact that every one of them is born with a calcified pineal gland. Now, everything that I say is backed up scientifically. Google it. Don't believe me. Take the time to Google what I am saying. And if you do that, you will learn something about yourself and who you are. Some of the most important laws and principles found in all the galactic governing systems are these, and I'm going to detail them in this presentation. What are some of these laws and principles? I selected 4 out of the group. The 4 I am going to deal with are gender. There is a law of gender. The law of balance. The law of morality. And the law of justice. These are unchanging, immutable, universal laws. They don't change. And if as a people you do not comply with the laws of the universe and the laws of nature, the universe will remove you from this planet. Throughout all the galactic societies, these elements in particular help to make life peaceful, enjoyable, stable, and sustainable. In this regard, This Western system of violent, murderous patriarchy is not sustainable. You cannot exist on this earth just killing everybody by the millions and enjoying it in the process. Just killing, robbing, stealing, raping, enslaving, colonizing, murdering, hating. It's not sustainable. And the ironic part is that they are doing it to the very people who gave them life. They cannot remain on this earth. The universe finally said 2,000 years of this nonsense is more than enough. You got to go. Mother Universe's wrath, Mother Universe's judgment comes down on any group in any galaxy that consistently defies these laws and principles. They got to go. Nothing can save them. This is why they are trying to get to the moon or to Mars or to somewhere. But if you are not fit to be on Earth, if the sun is your enemy, you were born on Earth. Everything and everyone else on Earth benefits from the blessings of the sun, except them. Why? There are some other questions about them folks. I won't address them at this time. But their very nature is such that they cannot remain on the earth. They are too savage. They are too brutish. They are too barbaric. They are too violent and hateful. They are too consumed with greed. In Africa, we say they have eyes that can never be filled. They want everything, and they want everyone else to have nothing. So judgment has come down. The wrath of the universe has come down. Mother Universe also created an evolutionary development process on Earth. It's automatically within her governing system. She designed this process to take millions and millions and millions of years for the sake of we Black African human beings to evolve as higher intellectual and spiritual beings. Now, if you don't agree with the evolutionary explanation about evolution on Earth, starting from one-celled beings, then you know nothing about pregnancy and gestation. We start as 46 chromosomes, which make up one human cell. And when the sperm penetrates the egg, it creates 46 chromosomes, 23 from the mother, 23 from the father. And once fertilized, that egg becomes a blastocyst and begins to rapidly undergo cellular reproduction. It's just becoming larger and larger and larger, and finally develops into a fetus. As above, so below. So we have this evolutionary development on Earth. If you don't understand evolution and you don't agree with it, then why do you become old? Why do you go from a blastocyst to a living baby? Why do you go from a baby to an elderly person? That's evolution. You start small and you grow large. You start young and you become old. That process is ongoing. I'm just trying to lay it out in a common sense kind of way so that you can understand. It is clear to me that universe's goal is always to advance human spirituality and human consciousness to a level of godhood. That also is an evolutionary process. The spiritual journey of a human being is an evolutionary process. And you find that process throughout all of the galaxies, on all of the planets, wherever there is life. That evolutionary process is going on. Mother Universe has no, I should say human beings, we have no concept of time on the eternal level. One day to us might be 1,000,000 days in eternal time. We don't know, but we know that it's true. Mother Universe's expectations for human development, her expectations are the same for humanoids on all of the planets throughout all of the galaxies. We are all expected to rise to the level of mortal deities. Here on earth, we say earthly deities, gods on earth with the same finite powers. I shouldn't say the same, similar, finite, limited powers as the higher beings who reside in the heavenly realm. As above, so below. We are born with a potential, but as we live our lives and undergo struggles and trials and heartbreaks and grief and opposition. That's our growth process. It is like being in a school. You start with preschool. You go on to kindergarten, first grade. You finally graduate from the 6th grade. You have mastered everything on that elementary level. Now you are ready to begin operating on a higher level. That process, that evolutionary process, is built into what we call life. Think of life as a classroom, or as a school, or as a university. And as we successfully master each struggle, each trial, each grief, each opposition, and overcome them, and not just overcome them, but to overcome them with our integrity intact. That is the evolutionary process of spirituality. And we go through a hell on earth developing it. And we try to develop it up until the moment of our transition. And it is not true that we carry nothing with us as we transition. Notice I didn't say die. We don't die. We continue. Some call it reincarnation. In Africa, it's called continuation. They mean the same thing. In the African concept, you develop your spirituality to the point, to the highest point that is achievable, if as possible, up to that moment of transition. Because we take all of that with us. We are developing as earthly deities, as gods on earth. That's what is within us. Our God is not out in the sky somewhere. It is within us. So when we say we are waiting on God, the God within us is waiting on us. And I'm trying to wake you up so that you can activate your Godhood and take control. We once ruled this entire earth, and we will rule it again. And that time that our rulership returns, we're in it now. When all these other people die out with all their evil and murdering and this, that, and the other thing, we are the ones that are left. We are the ones who will be the last ones standing. We Black Africans, we are the Alpha and the Omega, the very first and the last, anatomically modern human beings called Homo sapiens sapiens. In other words, we are the ones who created. We created civilization, and we gave it as a gift to the world. Homo sapiens sapiens, what does it mean? It means the doubly wise, anatomically modern human beings. And we have forgotten who we are, because all we have been taught was slavery. And many of us are too lazy and too trifling to look into who we were long before then. All of life changes. It's never the same. And with the trials and the tribulations and the suffering that Black African people have gone through and survived, and we have survived with our integrity intact. We can't say it about all of us. It is never 100%. But the mastery has been earned. And now they are being removed from the earth. So I'm asking my Black African brothers and sisters, are you prepared to rule the earth again in justice, with balance, with morality? Are you ready? Are you organized? It's a rhetorical question, because I know the answer, but it's not too late. It is not too late for more of us to wake up. Please don't be in that number along with the collaborators. Please don't be in that number of folks who have denigrated, who have declined to such a level as the very ones being removed from the earth. If you have become like them, then you have to be removed too. And their removal is imminent. It is guaranteed. They know it. They are probably already at a minus percentage of population growth already. Let me get back to my notes. Wow. I often say that when I transition this time, I want to come back 3 times blacker than I am now. And I want to come back on the continent of Mother Africa, because this place is a poisonous, this is a terrible place. Wow. I feel sorry for any of you who have never experienced the motherland, because it means that you don't know what it is to just be a free, liberated human being. You don't know what freedom is. You don't know what natural food is. You know, just everyday organic food. I'm going off. I need to get back to my notes because this is already a very long video. So where am I now? Okay. Everyone in creation is expected to rise to the level of mortal deities who will be reflections of the immortal deities in the heavenly realms. This is the reason why Mother Universe created the governing system first. She planned it so it would always be right there to structure human behavior as it developed. And we're talking about for millions and millions of years. This is the way she planned it. That governing system would always be there to structure human behavior once humanity developed. It will always be there to guide and support and advise human beings as they struggled to reach this level of godhood. The relationship that connects the spirit realm that is above to the earth plane below is represented by a universal law called the law of correspondence. The law of correspondence. The law of correspondence states, as above, so below. As it is in the heavenly realm, so it is on the earthly plane. It's the divine mind of Mother Universe. Her divine mind created human reality. This mess that we are experiencing and taking for reality, this is an illusion, and a nasty one at that. And many of us don't want to unplug from it. The law of correspondence, as above, so below. As in the heavenly realm, so it is on the earthly plane. Mother Universe's divine mind created a reality. It is her divine will that manifested the beginning of all life forms on planet Earth. It is her divine hand that withdrew the intangible substances and the inert entities from the eternal atmosphere. She withdrew these intangible things, these inert entities. And as she held them in her hand, it is her divine breath that blew life into billions and billions and billions of those diverse inert entities. And they became alive. It is Mother Universe's divine guidance that sustained the development of all these entities for untold eons and eons of time, until the emergence of the species that we now call Homo sapien sapiens, the doubly wise, anatomically correct, anatomically modern, Black, African human beings that were created out of the divine essence of Mother Universe herself. And her essence was placed from the beginning into those one-celled beings floating in the amniotic fluid of the mother's womb and of the salty atmospheric waters. She placed all her essence into those one-celled beings that didn't even have consciousness at the time. But she knew that after eons and eons of development, that one day would emerge these anatomically modern, doubly wise Homo sapien sapiens, the only real human beings on earth, who from the one-celled stage already had godhood in them, so that we would not have to look out into the sky for some God. God is within us. I can't speak of other people. I can't speak of other folks who call themselves people, but don't act like people, don't act like human beings, so they have to be removed. This was the process. And we have to ask ourselves, are we living up to Mother Universe's expectations? So here are these 4 important laws within the system that Mother Universe established to govern the earth. The law of gender. Gender is in everything. Everything in creation has both masculine and feminine principles, because gender manifests on all planes of reality. So this law of gender has to do with the masculine and the feminine energies that exist in all things. Next, the law of correspondence. As above, so below. As within, so without. As above in the invisible spiritual heavenly realm, so below on the physical earthly plane. As above, as within, so without. That translates to as someone thinks, as someone deliberates, in heart and in mind, so is the character and the behavior of that person. In other words, if you want to know who a person is, watch their habits, watch their behavior. That will tell you who the person is inside. They cannot hide it. What is inside will be manifested in behavior. Let me move on to the law of balanced duality. So many of these laws, universal laws and principles, are actually interrelated. They all are interrelated with each other. So the law of balanced duality also involves gender. With gender, all things have masculine and feminine qualities. Masculine, feminine. It is balanced. It is considered a balanced duality. Dual means two. Masculine and feminine. So males have an abundance of physical strength and analytical skills. They have far less spirituality or spiritual qualities. That's on the male side. When we go to the female side, there is an abundance of spirituality and there is creativity and communication. That is on the feminine side. So what one does not have, the other one has. Therein you have the balance. We are not the same. We don't need to be the same. We are not even meant to be the same. Every male has feminine aspects as well as some feminine personality qualities. What am I talking about? When a man picks up his baby that was just born, look at how gentle he is. Look at the way he holds it. That is a feminine quality that is built within him. He also has biological aspects of his body. I don't have time to go into all that tonight. On the feminine side, it is within African tradition forever to go to war, to be soldiers, to be warriors, but only when necessary. She is the one who nurtures. She is the one who is most spiritual. She is the one who is the great ambassador, because unlike the male in a certain tense situation, He is ready to fight. She is the one who can calm him down. She is the ambassador. She is the one who can talk. She has those skills. She has those aspects about her. And when it is time to fight, she picks up the weapons and fights right alongside him. So if you study our history, you will find whole female armies, sometimes led by warrior queens. If you look into the history of Shaka, the king of the Zulus, he didn't trust the men. He had an all-female security contingent. That's all the time I have to spend on that. Okay, part of the law of balanced duality is the principle of opposites. Everything has an opposite. There is love and hate. They are two sides of the same coin. White and black, night and day, hot and cold, yin and yang. And of course, yin and yang also goes to gender. But everything, those things are opposites. And they are not separate from each other. Love and hate with love. Love can easily slip into hate or hatred. Hatred can slip into love or can even exist side by side. White and black. White is the absence of the black. Black includes the white and subsumes the white. Night and day. They are gradations of each other. During the day, the sun gradually goes down into the night. After hours of the nighttime, we gradually get into the daylight, hot and cold. These are varying degrees, more or less, of the same thing. Another principle is polarity. And this is under the law of balanced duality, polarity. The earth has polarity, the earth itself. Positive and negative. When we look at the magnetic poles, yes. So that takes care of the law of balanced duality. Next, I'm looking at the law of morality. This involves human character, human practices, behaviors that are considered right or wrong, for getting along with and living well with other people. We know how to do that. Them other folks have never known how to do that. And the scientists say that is one of the reasons they went extinct in the first place. They're too full of fear and hatred and violence. I don't understand how they can attach civilization to themselves. The root word is civil. Civil relates, that word civil, relates to how well you can get along with others. There is nothing civil about them, even within their families. Do you think that once these murderous men get through killing us and they go home, how do you think they treat their wives? I'm a retired professor, and I was teaching, one of my classes was African culture, intro to African culture. And at one point, I asked my students, and the class was composed of like 98% white students, and I asked them, what do you think the world would be? What would it be like if there were no Black or African people here? And I was surprised the first time I asked this question. I was surprised with a dead silence. You could have heard a mosquito pee-pee on velvet. No one could speak. Finally, one little white girl raised her hand. And I was shocked. She said, if Black people were not here, our men would be fighting us. They would be beating up on us. They would be killing us females. That was a wake-up call for me. That was decades ago. And ever since then, whenever I had a predominantly white class, I would ask the same question. And I would get that same kind of fearful atmosphere that would fill that class from that moment. They know who they are. We don't know what they are. And we have spent hundreds and hundreds of years trying to civilize them, trying to even humanize them. You have to try and develop them as human beings before you can even get to the civil part. I don't want to go off. Okay, the law of morality. There are some simple principles. Speak the truth. Do not kill. Do not practice violence. Respect the property of others. Treat others as you want to be treated. Simple, but not so simple. It is not simple if it is not in your nature, and it is not in their nature. And after thousands of years, we still don't understand that. The last one is the law of compensation and judgment. Oh, wow. The law of compensation and judgment. This law involves retributive justice. You know what the Egyptians used to call karma? The law of retributive justice for those who are guilty of wrongdoing, for those who refuse to conform and to comply with the universal principles and laws. So we have this saying, you reap what you sow. You reap what you sow. Whatever you send out will always return to you. Sometimes people refer to it as the law of the as the divine circle. Yes, some do say the law of the divine circle. Because whatever you send out, it may take a long time, but whatever you send out is going to come back to you, whether it's good or bad. And if it's bad, it's going to circle around and hit you in your behind. So those are the 4 laws that I have decided to highlight in this narrative. And now I am moving on because I already discussed the essence of universe. I'm now going to discuss the substance of the universe. The substance of the universe is black. And since the substance of Mother Universe is black, of course, she created African people with black skins. And when I say black, I mean various shades of black or blackness. According to modern science and according to ancient African cosmology, the blackness of the universe is indisputable. When we look out into the universe, we are looking out into ultimate blackness. And again, I'm going to refer to humanity and human life and black motherhood. The child inside the black mother's womb lives in utter blackness, surrounded by water, and it breathes some of that water. And the excess water is squeezed out of the baby's lungs during the birthing process. And this is why the mother is in great pain, because those muscle spasms are working and squeezing that excess water out of the baby's lungs. If all of it doesn't come out, the baby will die. It will drown in its own liquid, because it has been swallowing and even breathing in that amniotic fluid. If the baby does not cry immediately, the doctor slaps it on its bottom, and there's this automatic response. The baby inhales, because to cry means you've got to inhale first. So it inhales, it takes this deep breath, and when it lets it out in a cry, in a wail, the excess water is forced out of the baby's lungs, and everyone is happy. The baby is alive, it is crying. I hope you understand the way I am weaving all of this together, talking about us as Black Africans, relating who we are from the cosmic level down to the earthly level, and explaining it in everyday life terms and in scientific terms. This is when you know that something is real. So now let me get into the black substance. According to modern science and ancient African cosmology, the blackness of the universe is, of course, indisputable. But modern scientists are still researching the reasons as to why. Why is the universe black? There are scientific reasons for that. So I'm going to present the two explanations. One explanation involves the blackness of dark matter and dark energy within the universe. You see, the entire universe is melanated. Anytime you see color, you see melanin. And black is the color of neuromelanin that gives everything life. Neuromelanin runs through the brain and the brain's system, the nervous system, including the brain, of living animals, mammals. If a baby's brain, when it is just at the gestation period, not even at the level of being a fetus, if there isn't enough of that black substance that is both a chemical and a hormone, if there isn't enough of it running through the entire nervous system, starting with the brain, if it's not there, that baby will automatically abort. If there is a deficit, then we have our albinos. If you travel to Africa, you will see albinos everywhere. Not a lot of them, but you will see albinos. They get born, they live, they grow up, they marry. They always find a very dark-skinned sister to try and correct the deficits in neuromelanin. They live normal lives. But I defy anyone to tell me if you have ever seen a Caucasian albino. You won't see one. They are all institutionalized. They cannot make it. The parents themselves, Caucasians, already have a deficit, an extreme deficit of neuromelanin. So their skin is very pale, like the belly. Sometimes I look at their hands and I don't like looking at it. It's like the underbelly of a fish. So we are endowed from the cosmic level with all this powerful, magical, spiritual, melanin, blackness. It's born in us. It's in every cell of the body. It's the reason we have access to spirit along with the pineal gland. I can't leave out the pineal gland. That's another long lecture. I've done a month-long lecture just on neuromelanin and the pineal gland in African people. Why African people? Because Caucasians have the structure of the gland, but it is calcified, it's blocked up, and not enough blood flows through it. That tiny little gland in the center or in the midbrain, it's not up here in the forehead, it's not there. It's in the midbrain, back near the brainstem. Okay? It's calcified in them. That's why the melatonin flies off the pharmacy shelves. They're trying to make up for their lack of neuromelanin. Their pineal gland is not completely blocked. If it were completely blocked, no blood would be flowing through it at all, but it is just barely operative. They don't have spirit. They have religion. They don't have spirit. And since the pineal is blocked, and since enough neuromelanin is not flowing through that pineal, they don't even have access to spirit. So we even have to begin questioning, what is a human being? That's a 2-month lecture right there. But we love them, and we damage our offspring by having babies with them, thinking that somehow we are leveling up, and you have leveled down. Let me go on. So this blackness is within us. God is within us. So when some misguided folks are looking out into the heavens, looking for some God to come and save them, the God that is within us is looking for us to save us. This is why we can pray. Some folks can pray. Nothing is happening because you are not activating the Godhood that is within you. And Mother Universe expects for you to do that. So let's talk about dark matter. Notes. Modern scientists are baffled by this substance. They believe that over 90% of Mother Universe is made up of this dark matter. They know it's there, but they haven't been able to prove it. They sometimes refer to dark matter as missing matter. It's not missing. They know that it is there, but they can't find it. Even their devices can't locate it. They haven't been able to detect it even using electromagnetic radiation. You know, they have these special telescopes and everything. They cannot find it, but they know it is there. And this is why Mother Universe to them is so mysterious. And it becomes even more mysterious to them because they think of everything in male, masculine terms. They think of everything in Caucasian, white terms, which is foolishness. And just as Mother Universe, in all her blackness and her black, powerful glory, just as she is mysterious to them, so are Black African women mysterious. Black African women, we have a mystique about us. There is an air of mystery. We can just sit very quietly and people will be attracted to us, will want to walk up to us and talk. And this outward, European concept of beauty, that has nothing to do with it. It is the inner beauty. It means that Black African women having all of this divine substance in them that mirrors, reflects the divinity of Mother Universe. We have mystique. I am so saddened when I see our young women wearing outfits that show every part of the body. We don't need that. That is the lowest form of who we are. If you really want to exhibit your beauty, your mystique, it has nothing to do with your size and your shape and whether you're thin and, have a nice waist and a this and a that and the other. Those are low vibrational aspects of your being. That's low vibration. It's connecting to the sex act. Low vibrations. But when you dress modestly and you have that way of walking that African women have, and of course our men have that same way of walking, that swag, that rhythm, it sets us apart. No one walks like we walk. No one has that sense of style. No one shines the way we shine. And in Africa, when someone looks at you and said, "Oh, hello, you're shining today." Wow, that is the ultimate compliment. It means the light of all that dense black spirituality and good health makes you shine. It isn't a visible light. But people who are sensitive can see that glow. Oh, you're shining. They can see it. So my sisters, my daughters, my children, you don't need to wear this stuff showing everything you've got. A man is attracted more by what he does not see. That is a part of our mystery. That's a part of the black woman's mystique. And we're giving it away, we're wasting it, trying to wear this mess that these white women are wearing. That's not us. That's not womanhood. Let me go on. When it comes to matter, dark matter, matter is anything that has mass. If it's mass, it's called matter. If it's matter, it has mass. So matter is anything that has mass and it takes up space. I'm talking about dark matter now. Scientists know that dark matter is there because they can see its effect on other matter that they can see. So if there is some piece of invisible matter, it is there. That mass is there, but it is invisible. If another entity comes close to it, if it bumps up against it, it has to bounce off. This is how the scientists know. They take what is observable and they say, okay, this has happened. So we know that something, some moving object is bumping up against this mass that we cannot see. They can't see it. Scientists, they are only used to matter and mass that can be seen. Visible matter either gives off light or it reflects light that's given off by another object. Dark matter is not like that. It is invisible. It can't be seen. It doesn't give off light, nor does it reflect light. That gives you some idea of how dense dark matter is. Scientists know that as a galaxy spins, things should be flying off from it. It should be torn apart. Things should be flying out. But that doesn't happen. So they surmise that dark matter has an enormous gravitational force that holds these galaxies together. So dark matter is a gravitational force. What we consider gravity is a small part, or an effect, I should say. Gravity is an effect of dark matter because it has this gravitational force. Okay, let me go on to the second reason that the universe is dark. our minds, even to scientific minds, with all these stars shining out in the universe, out in the cosmos, the universe should be all well lit, but it's not. It is always black. All these many stars just don't light up the universe. The sky and the universe are always dark. Neither the universe nor the moon has any source of light nearby. It's just not close enough to be emitting light. And then there isn't the proper atmosphere through which the light could be scattered. Okay? So that's why this is the second reason why the universe is dark. To humans, this is very baffling. It forms what we call a paradox. It's like a contradiction. On one hand, our minds, our psychological expectation is, when we look at the moon, our expectation is that the moon's night sky should be bright. We've seen all these photos taken from the moon landings, right? It's always dark. It's always black. So on one hand, we expect it to be bright. On the other hand, the physical reality is that the moon's night sky is always night. It is always black. Well, you guys have been very patient if you have stuck with me so far. I see that we're almost 3 hours into this lecture, but I'm winding down now. Oh, my beloved. My beloved people, I love you so much. I wish I could tell you how much concern I have for all of you. It's hard to express my gratitude to Mother God and Father God. My gratitude for being alive at this time. To be able to witness for myself. To be able to see my people turn this historical corner. To see our people waking up. 2,000 years is a very long time in our time. It's a very long time to see no change or very little change. I'm so grateful to be alive. And not just to be alive in terms of being here. That doesn't make sense. But to actually be sent to do something. No matter how small that something is. I'm grateful. I'm grateful for this opportunity to develop spiritually in this manifestation, so that in my next manifestation, I will be even higher and higher and higher, because I continue to study and learn. Beloved, Divine Spirit Divine Spirit stands with open arms. Divine Spirit stands with open arms at the junction of your divine destiny, your destiny path. You can imagine a fork in the road, and there divine destiny is, asking, what will you choose? Will you choose to remain a slave? Or will you choose to break those shackles from your spirit so that you can evolve into the God on earth that Mother Universe requires and expects? That state of godhood, that's your rightful place. And now today, the time has arrived for us to reclaim our thrones of nobility as Black African women and men. Beloved, today we need to be ready to leave behind whoever chooses to remain under this alien spell of domination, the spell of dehumanization and destruction. Many of our people, even our family members, they choose slavery as their comfort zone. They choose not to develop their godhood. Catastrophe is coming. In fact, it has already started. Catastrophe and calamity. Those things are striking all over the earth. And it's happening without warning. Catastrophe keeps coming like a thief in the night, coming when no one knows the day or the hour. And my question is, will it find us prepared? Mother Universe has unleashed all the destructive forces. She has set loose all the destructive forces of both Mother Nature and Mother Earth. You see it. You see it in the news. You see it in the newspapers. You see it on your iPhones and iPads. You see it on the internet, on Google, on TikTok. TikTok. They came up with that name because they know their time is up. Catastrophe. No bullets when it comes to Mother Nature. No bullets can penetrate the forces of nature. No tanks can come against the forces of nature. No bombs can kill the forces of nature. Are you going to use your automatic weapons against the floods? Are you going to send your tanks against these earthquakes? Wow. Can you take your AR-15s or whatever they are called? Can you have any effect shooting into these tornadoes, these fire nados? Can you do that? The answer is no. The universe is going through a cleansing. That's what this is. We are in the midst of days when the unrighteous, murderous, wicked ones are now having their turn suffering. It is their turn to be running back and forth across the earth like cattle running from danger. It's their turn. It is their turn to be weeping and wailing. It is their turn. And it is just beginning for them. Right now we have all these states with heat waves. And them people, you know, them other people, they are dropping like flies. It's not the black people who are, everyone is suffering. But it's them people who are dropping like flies. It's them people who cannot stand these intensified rays of the sun. We have our own sunblock. We were born to it. They are dying. They are getting skin poisoning. They are getting all blistered up. They are getting skin cancers and other cancers. So this is their period now of weeping and wailing. And the funny thing is, the ironic thing is that they are upset because Black African people don't feel sorry for them. Have you seen them on TikTok and YouTube trying to scold us, talking about humanity? When the hell have they had any feelings about humanity? Now that it is their turn to suffer, now they want to talk about humanity. Just miss me with that mess. It's going to get much worse. We are now going to see them acting like it is described in the Bible somewhere. Running to the rocks crying, "Cover me." Oh yes. We're going to witness them running to the caves, crying, "Hide me." We will watch them from afar. I know it's coming. We will watch them from afar as their makeshift escape boats sink far from shore. There will be no hiding place, and there will be no place of solace for them. I can imagine myself standing on the banks of the Atlantic Ocean, seeing one of their ships, one of these makeshift boats, trying to come to land, but it begins to sink. And there will be no one to run to their rescue. I can imagine seeing it. They're going to be begging for assistance from the very people against whom they have continuously committed inhuman acts of genocide and butchery and violence and brutality. We're going to see them soon and very soon. Soon and very soon they will be fleeing to the very lands that they have plundered, pleading, please admit us for safety and for solace. We are dying. However, distrust and bitter memories from the past, the distrust and the bitter memories from the past are going to block any willingness for any of us to help them. People are going to remember the betrayal, the unrelenting suffering, the death and destruction that resulted as their thanks the last time we extended a hand of kindness to them. I hope God never puts me in that position. This time is here when they will weep bitter tears. However, their prayers and their lamentations will not and cannot reach the heavenly realms. Well, Dr. Borisha, you don't know that. Yes, I do. I can say that unapologetically and unhesitatingly because the law of morality is against them. It's against them because they have broken every moral principle for thousands of years, ever since their sorry behinds came on the scene. Likewise, the law of compensation and judgment is against them. They have to reap the bitter crop that they have sowed for thousands of years. And they did it just because they could. They made people suffer, and they delighted in doing it. In the end, most of them are going to perish. They'll perish from the same conditions that they had planned for Black Africans and others who don't look like them. What is it that we say when you dig a grave for someone? You may as well dig two. Usually you only dig one and you will fall into that one. But even if your evil is successful, you will be in the grave right next to that person. Them people from the northern region of the earth, they cannot escape this karma. They've worked for it. They've worked hard for it, and they enjoyed themselves as they worked for it all these thousands of years. And they have never repented, and now it is too late for repentance. Well, beloved, we've come to the end of this very long video. It has been 3 hours. I didn't intend for it to be this length. But Divine Spirit has had me by the throat for a month. It has been a whole month. I have written enough to fill an entire book. I would write up a presentation and it might be 6 or 7 pages. And I would think, okay, it's time to record it and upload it. No, Spirit was not satisfied. So I would write some more. 10 pages here, 7 pages there, 12 pages another time. Spirit was not happy with any of it. So I had to back off the entire thing and clear my mind. After writing my heart out for 1 month, this is what I came up with. So before this particular presentation, I was trying to be obedient to get the word out. But this is the only one that Spirit gave the okay on. By the time I wrote this one, I was surprised. I was very surprised at the direction that it took. When it comes to my writing and messaging, I rely on Spirit. I rely on the Holy Spirit. I trust her and I obey her. And so we have it. 3 hours. Wow, this is a first for me. My beloved, if you like the content of this video, please hit those like, share, and subscribe buttons. I would love to hear from you. So please feel free to add your comments below. Above all things, my beloved, remember that I have the utmost care for you. I have the utmost love for you. You are the reason I am here. When I leave my house and walk down the street and I see my people and my children, it gives me joy. It gives me hope. It is you who give me the strength to carry on. The strength that I have gained in more than 80 years of heartache, heartbreak, troubles, trials, temptations. Oh my, grief, loss. Of course, I'm not the only one. But through it all, I always knew that this is my classroom. And I am the teacher. And I can't just come out teaching rubbish. I have to bring something that elevates and liberates my people. So it is up to you, my beloved. It's up to you whether or not you pick it up. You can pick it up or you can leave it where it lies. That is up to you. But I'm doing my job. It's a hard job. It has always been a hard job. but it's a job done as a labor of love. Because if I am not doing this, then why am I alive on this earth? And we all need to ask ourselves that question. Who am I? Why am I here? And what am I supposed to be doing? What is my divine purpose? What is my divine destiny? This is why we need to open our ancestral memories. Remember, 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 remember who you are and why you are here and what your mission is on this destiny path called life on earth. Well, beloved, as I said, please hit those like, share, and subscribe buttons. This is Mama Ade, Iya Ade. This is Dr. Ade Tokombo Aborishade, saying I'm so happy to have been with you today. I love you. I pray that God will bless you with every possible good thing in life. Until we are together again, beloved, I am signing off, saying bye-bye, Odavo, so long.